I would like to talk about my journey into the Lhob communities of Samtsi first. Now, I did a survey on which of our indigenous communities needed our intervention the first. So we decided to go to Samtsi, and then we had to cross the Chamuruchi river something like 24 times. And since we couldn't take off our shoes 24 times, we bought butter slippers. We call them the tetims. And we crossed the river 24 times wearing those slippers. And once we reached the other side of the river and we were about to ascend a hike to get into the villages, I noticed that my feet were bleeding, and I'm sure it was the same for my companions who were traveling with me. So that didn't deter us, because we had a mission. And so we walked into these villages, and it was quite a journey, in the sense that even walking into the villages, I've never experienced such a huge hailstorm. Huge, it was really huge. And the place that we were supposed to stay in was totally flooded after the storm. So we took refuge in the headmaster's quarters. After that, the next day, I went into all the villages. The first thing I noticed was that there wasn't a single proper house. All the houses were on stilts, bamboo. Even the flooring was bamboo. I walked into these houses, and I saw that there was nothing there, hardly anything. I felt a sense of deep compassion overwhelm me. And there I met an old lady called Angesera, who was very pleased to see me. She asked me who I was. I told her. And then likewise I walked into many of the houses. It was a large cluster of villages in the form of huts. So then I gathered the community, and I gave them a nice lunch. I spoke to them. I made them dance, their traditional dances. And then I spoke to them and I told them, your village is called Lotokuchu A, Lotokuchu B, and Lotokuchu C. Now, I've never done this before, but I would like to now give you a very special name. And now, from today, your villages are going to be named after your king. And it's going to be called Lotokuchu Jigme, Lotokuchu Singi, and Lotokuchu Wanchu. And once you receive the name of your king, your villages are going to prosper. And I make a solemn pledge that you will prosper. So having said that, I felt a sense of relief in me, but at the same time a sense of worry as how the Rayana Foundation could accomplish that. We saw many other needs apart from housing. There was education. For instance, there wasn't a single a student who had reached the class 12 standard. And their livelihood was very, very basic, very basic. There was no income generating activities there. And so there was the need not only to build them proper houses, but a total upliftment of the existence in form of agriculture, in form of education, in form of income generation, and so on. And then Namge what we did was, the first thing we did was we posted a Tarayana field officer into their community. Now this field officer lives with them, works with them, and then in consultation with them, then it's decided what their needs are. So we started with rebuilding their homes, new homes, building them new homes, and then we also established a paper making factory there, whereby they made their shoe, traditional Daphne paper, and also frames and other products from Daphne. And then we also incorporated weaving, because they did not have that, they didn't know how to weave there, they never did. So we started that, and then then improving their nutrition. During that trip, I distributed spades and vegetable seeds. And at that time, it was very funny, because during that meeting, when I was distributing the seeds and the spades, of course, I gained a lot of strength, because the spades cost a lot, and I had to literally hold each one and hand it over to one member of each household. And then during the meeting, a person got up and he said, "And who are you?" So I said, "I'm the old wife of your king." And I think that took him aback. But this journey to Lotokuchu Jigme Singhi Wanchuk was, I would say, the catalyst. And thereafter, we started the same process in the Rukha in Wongdi, in other Rukha, and also the indigenous communities there, and also in the Tongsa district of Changbi. We did the same thing. And I have to tell you, Namge, a lot has happened. A lot has changed. I have gone back several times to see the progress of the work and the after effects of our intervention. And now they're full of confidence. They have the Hlop Express, many boleros, whereas they had none in the past. They have, now we have graduates, we have engineers, doctors, etc., coming from out of these communities and who are serving them. It's really wonderful when you go back and then you have a meeting again with them, and now their needs are different. In the beginning, their needs were basic. Now their needs are higher employment and other things like the Hlop Express. They have their radio stations whereby they communicate, whereby they also disseminate their own traditional way of life. They communicate with each other. And for me, I think, and for everybody who's been involved in the journey of Tarayana, of working really hard, the ones, especially the ones living in the villages and serving in the villages with the village communities, the ones who are formulating programs here in the head office, the ones who are contributing monetarily, our donors, our sponsors, our well-wishers. I think all of us today, as we turn 20, should be gratified in knowing that we have transformed many, many, many hundreds, thousands of lives. You know, Namge Tarayana Foundation, in our service, we have impacted literally half of the population of Bhutan in one way or the other.